Today I'm going to show you how to take a NetCDF file and convert it to a table using ArcPro. If you're unfamiliar what NetCDF is, it stands for the Network Common Data Form, and it's typically used to store climatological data. The data I've pulled here is from the European Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasts, the ECMWF, and specifically their ERA5, or European Reanalysis 5 data set. ERA5 sort of supplanted ERA Interim back in July of 2019. And you can download ERA5 data from the Copernicus Climate Change Service. So I have some data for an area over Iceland. So I'm gonna pull that up now, and we're gonna convert it from .nc to a text-based table. So you can either go to Tools and search there. I'm gonna go up to my Geoprocessing tab and type in NetCDF. You have a couple of options here, but right now we're just gonna do the table view. So you're gonna navigate to your data. You see the .nc there. And the variables that you've downloaded. Now, I've specifically downloaded the 10 meter U and 10 meter V components of wind, U being an east-west wind and V being a north-south wind at 10 meters above the surface. And so that's the data I'm looking to pull out of this NetCDF file. I'm going to give this a name that makes sense. And I'm going to make the rows based on the time of the interpolated observation. The dimension values are going to be the latitude and the longitude. And if at any point you're thinking, well, what is a row dimension or what is the dimension values, you can always just go to the little I and find out what that means for you. And I'm going to keep the selection method by value. So I'm going to run that now. And as you can see, it's populated over here in my contents pane. I'm going to open that up. And here it is. This is 2020 data up to July, I believe. And you see here the U and the V component wind. Now, I have specifically asked the retrieval service for a very specific lat long over Iceland. So I know inherently what the lat longs are, but let's say that I didn't. So I want another table here that tells me what the latitude and the longitude are. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to add in latitude and longitude and keep all the other variables the same. Now, if I had tried to do the latitude and longitude the first time out with what has ultimately become U and V, it's not going to work properly. So I've done this in 2 steps. So let's give it a better name than this. We'll just keep tacking on to the end here. Lat long. And we're going to keep everything the same and run. To open, and the latitude and longitude has populated in there. So this is a really easy way to get this kind of data out of a .nc file. Now, if you want to convert this table, let's say to Excel, go back to Geoprocessing, table to Excel. Very simple. What is your input table? Well, whichever one we want. Here's your output table. I use the field aliases as column headers. We can run that. It'll take a few seconds. And here we go. See if I can bring that up from here. I can. There it is. So you can see that you know, same data, and then you can go in and use that data however you see fit. If you are keen on creating a raster layer, that's fairly simple to do as well. We'll go back to NetCDF and we'll click on the raster layer here. The input file is the same one we used for the table view. The variable is the 10-meter U wind, the east-west wind. The X and the Y are fine. You can put in a band dimension, but I won't here because I've only got a single dimension. Let's see. I can make the dimension value here time. So, but actually for this, we're just going to go with everything. It's already, the band dimension and the dimension values, you need to look a bit more into what your data actually contains. For what my data contains, the U and the V, this is fine. Now this is a really coarse data set, so there isn't a lot of specificity to this data, but that is exactly what I'd be looking for. And since I have U and V wind, I'm just going to go through there and rerun to get the V wind layer, also the north-south wind layer. So that's how you use some of the NetCDF tools in the toolbox in ArcPro. And hopefully the first part of this tutorial, getting the data out and into Excel, is useful. I found that really challenging to do before I figured this out. And then from there you can start to do a bit of maths on your U and V and get out wind direction and wind speed. All right, thanks for watching.